Hey yogis, Josie here. Welcome to the YogaLocal podcast. We are working with the theme of dream in the studio and in our community on the YogaLocal app this month. And I wanted to talk to you this week about the principle of Dharma. Yoga teaches your Dharma is greatness, which basically means we're all here to achieve our full potential. We're all here to lean into our greatness. Loosely translated, it means purpose. So what is my purpose? So key contemplation. And I just want to kind of help you with improving your relationship to Dharma and contemplating about 4 questions that can maybe help you get more of a sense of what your purpose is, what you're here on this planet for. Yoga teaches us that we're all here with this soul embedded code, and when we are soul aligned, and our practices are there to support us in that pursuit of soul alignment. When we are more aligned to our true nature, who we are, what we're here to do, our inner desires, we achieve fulfillment, health, and well-being. It's not an easy path to walk when we are trying to come into a place of realignment, because a lot of what we have acquired in our life is limiting that belief that your Dharma is greatness. In fact, we probably think, most of us anyway, why are we here at all? Never mind that we're here for some great purpose. So choosing to walk this path is going to bring up obstacles. It's going to bring up friction. It's going to require that we step into a little bit of grit and fearlessly uncover unhelpful thoughts, actions, beliefs that are taking us away from fulfilling our purpose. Going against the status quo is hard, right? And how things currently are, we can feel really safe and it's familiar. Poking our heads above the parapet, so to speak. Yeah, we might get shot down a few times, and no doubt we will as we walk this path. Yoga is not for the fearless. It's not for the faint-hearted. I say this quite a lot in class. So it's time to be ready for the grit, and just how much do you want to be fulfilled in life? Get to the end of your life feeling that you did accomplish your dreams and your soul desires, and just being clear here that Dharma isn't our job. It's not, it doesn't have to be. It can be. I've literally created my whole life around yoga now, and you could say it is my job, but I see it more as service, and I've just created an environment where I can better serve, and where I can better have time to learn all these teachings that are supporting me and have got me to where I am, and have shifted me from journalist Josie to yoga teacher Josie. That's a transformation that could only have been made possible through this path of meditation and yoga that I've been on for the last 10 years. So be ready for the grit. Okay, so what are these questions then? What are these 4 questions that are going to help you tap into your purpose, your inner why, your inner soul calling? Well, first of all, I would say you need to come at these questions from a clear and stable mind. Maybe do it after your anchor practice, do it after a meditation when you're less governed by all the collective, acquired, ordinary mind thinking. Okay, so we want to come from a space of more receptivity and more stability. And then these questions I'll just go through them all and then maybe talk about them individually. So if you've got a pen and paper, write these down. If you're driving, obviously don't do that unless you're going to stop. But I'll come back to this. We're on 5 minutes 44, 45. So you can come back to this at the 5-minute marker and write these down and take them into your next meditation. So the first one to ask is, in the last year, what was the best use of your willpower? Okay, so think about where you really had to draw from your inner resources, your fearlessness and your desire, and really put your willpower into something that actually created an outcome that was good for everyone. Okay, and when you had to exert your will, yoga is power, and I think that's kind of got lost in translation as we experience yoga in village hall environments where the emphasis is on stretching and relaxing, and we're not really recognizing that yes, we need this steady, capable mind. We need to be in a place of surrender and receptivity, purification. But if we're actually going to fulfill on our soul's desires, then we are going to need that will, that intentional act of taking something from one state and moving it to another. And that requires power. So what was the best use of your willpower, your internal power? Not like fierce, torching the village kind of power, not dominating kind of power and abusing your strength kind of power, but using your intent and your will to get the job done that was in service of everyone. So take a few minutes to think about how that showed up for you in the last year. Second question to bring into your meditation is, if money were no obstacle, what would I do with my life, right? So if you could do anything because time and money wasn't the obstacle, what would that be? So, honestly, every moment of my free time, pretty much, when I'm not with my family, has or is connected to some part of what I'm doing here. I love to learn. I love to move my body. I like to explore my capabilities. I'm curious about how I can co-create my experience, and the more that I take this path, the more I see is possible, and that's what keeps me motivated. And there's no real desire to do anything else, right? So it can become a little bit of a problem, because then your whole life can become a little bit lopsided in terms of what you do. And I'm obviously very aware that that's something that I need to look at. I've created this whole lifestyle job to support my interests and my desires and my goals, and sometimes that can become overwhelming when it's your job and your hobby and your passion. So but yeah, I would do it if money was no object. I do it when I was starting out and wasn't making anything, very little, it's still, it was still very clear to me that was what I wanted to do. So, what would you do if money weren't the obstacle? I'm very lucky. I've got a support system, a family that have helped me achieve this. Not all of us have that, right? So we do need to maybe get creative in how we bring our purpose to life. Maybe it's not through how we earn our income, but without really being connected to your why, kind of floundering. It doesn't feel good to not be connected to something bigger than yourself. So have a think about that question. What brings you most joy? So this kind of really feeds off the prior question. So, what lights us up inside? What fuels us? What motivates us? What drives us? It's that joy and that internal desire that's going to get you through all those obstacles. It's going to get you through the gritty times, the times where you feel, what am I doing this for, and who am I, and when the doubt creeps in. Think about what brings you the most joy, and you might kind of start to tap into those activities that are more aligned with who you are. Okay, because this is a natural exuberance that arises from being connected to source, being connected to your Dharma, being connected to your purpose. It's just this, it's overflowing. It's not something that you create. It's not something you go out and look for. It just spills out of you. I can relate this to when we were in Morocco, right? Because taking people into this beautiful space, and it's just like you become effervescent with just this pure joy of sharing something that you love with people who get it, who love it too, and are being joyful also. And that is priceless, right? So it kind of loops back to that, if money is no object, that joy from creating something, doing something, offering something, being something in service to someone else. And you might be onto something in terms of what your purpose is. And finally, what does my soul desire? So it's really important that, we can think of desire as like a dirty word almost. I think the perception of yogis is that, you shouldn't have any desires, you should renunciate everything. But desire is at the root of creation. Without desire, there is no creativity. Without desire, there's no birthing new things. Our desires are the key to our thriving. And the question to ask, where is that desire coming from? What's it rooted in? Is it rooted in a real soul calling? Like a heartache almost. It's like you can't thrive without that experience, as opposed to like an ego, graspy, needy, wanting to outperform someone else and have this because it elevates your own sense of small self, your position in your family, in your community. I think we kind of, if we look at it close enough, we can identify an ego-based desire, more materially led maybe, although don't ignore your material desires, because there's sometimes a little bit of a route into something more soulful. But you need to do a little bit of exploratory work here. And again, this is why our practices were created, to help us to come to these understandings, to witness who we really are, to get closer to the real self, to be more able to then live our lives in a way that is dharmic, that is on purpose, and therefore we'll be more fulfilled. So think about what it is you desire, and where is it coming from? Soul level or ego mind? Okay, so things to do next. This is Dream Week, and our desires are kind of leading us into our dreams, right? So I want you to, first of all, go through these 4 questions, contemplate them, and then start to think about, what are your desires, what are your dreams? And don't be afraid to think like with an unlimited view on what's possible, okay? When I quit my job in 2013 as a journalist, this whole setup here, that would have been a fairy tale, complete nonsense in that moment. So yeah, don't limit yourself. Have fun playing into your dreams. Think of the things that light you up. Things are the things that bring you joy, without requiring something external to bring that in. Think about where you've really brought your will in without really even having to try, and where's that, where that element of money comes in. If money was no obstacle, let's put that to one side. If money was no obstacle, if time was no obstacle, and then start to write these dreams down. Everything starts from nothingness, right? Ideas are just energy packages in our subtle environment, in our mind, that we can then bring forward into a material existence through speaking and by writing them down, bringing things into form through sound and through the written word. So start your manifesting process, write them down, talk about them as well. Talking about them to bring them to life a little bit more really helps. I want you to go away, and if you're interested in this topic and you want it fleshing out a little bit more, read the blog that I've written this week. That'll be on the website, and there'll be links to it in the app. I talk about, this place, my dream, and I'm also stepping into a little bit of grit myself, because we work into our dreams in a very systematic and sustainable way, right? Scary stuff like you've got this idea that you want to be here and you're here, and it's like there's no way. So as we practice, as we build our capacity for more through our yoga practices, then we can take on more. And I'm taking on more of my desire to grow and to expand into my dream for what this place is and for what I believe my dharmic purpose is. So go away and read that. Let me know what you think. And also, because the reason I'm asking is because the next part of my journey does require you, and I've got something to ask of you guys, especially those of you that are members of our YogaLocal app. So please do go away and have a look at that, and I really would love you to start sharing your aha moments, your opinions. Let's have a conversation about this. We can maybe chat through what you maybe think your Dharma is, or maybe you thought you had your Dharma and now you feel like you've lost that connection. Let's create a space where we can really start to help each other fulfill each other's dreams, our soul-driven dreams, and in that way we're aligning and creating a space where we're helping and serving each other. So I hope that makes sense. Go away and read that blog, And then, yeah, share your discoveries, share your insights, and be part of this whole creative process of helping each other grow into and live out their dreams. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening or watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.